Hi, I'm Roy Aubrey from Haval Edenvale, and it's another day and another car that I'm going to show you guys. But before I do, I just wanted to show you this I want to brag a little bit in amongst our little trophies of Deal of the Year, etc., etc. Recently, when I went across to Shanghai, to the Shanghai Motor Show and to Great Wall's factory in Boadeng, we were given the award, the prestigious award of being South Africa's top volume dealer. So that means in 2022 and for the first quarter of 2023, we sold the most cars in South Africa, period. So that means if you're looking to buy a Great Wall vehicle or a Haval, this is the place to come. We'll look after you. We'll have the right car for you at the right price. Okay, so today I'm going to chat a little bit about the Jolion HEV. So I think before we go into the features of the car, I just wanted to sort of give my opinion of the HEV market and that in South Africa. So I think what's happened is, and if you've been under a rock, you will have heard that there's a whole change in the motor industry where we're moving away from what's called the ICE engine vehicles, which is the internal combustion engine vehicles, to new energy vehicles. And the new energy vehicles come in basically three basic guises, if you want to categorize them. You get the EV, which is a full EV. So it doesn't have a petrol engine. It only has an electric engine. So all your propulsion is dealt with by an electric engine. Okay, so there we have challenges in South Africa. We have load shedding. We often have people that live in complexes where they aren't close to a charging point. So if you're buying a fully electric vehicle, you've got to think that one through carefully. You've got to have access to charging points. You've got to realize that the grid in South Africa doesn't have a lot of charging points. So if you're going from here to Cape Town, you're going to have to plan your trip very carefully, because you're going to have to find places to charge your vehicle and hope that when you get to the place where you're going to charge your vehicle, you don't have load shedding there. Okay, so then the next step backwards from there, not backwards, but the next step from there is an HEV, which is what this Jolion is. So it's a hybrid electric vehicle. So hybrid means it's a dual two things. So it's got an internal combustion engine. In the case of the Jolion, it's got a 1500 naturally aspirated engine. Linked to that, it's got an electric engine, electric motor. So I'll go through that just now. So the electric engine and the petrol engine work at different times or in combination to provide the propulsion for the car. Then you get what's called a PHEV. So currently we don't have any PHEVs in our lineup, but what a PHEV means is that while this car, the battery gets charged completely by the vehicle. So you don't plug it into the mains at all. All the charging of the battery is taken care of by the petrol engine in the vehicle. A PHEV is what the P stands for plug-in. So it's a plug-in hybrid electric vehicle. That means that it still has the petrol engine, it still has the electric motor that work the similar way in tandem or independently or whatever, depending on the circumstance. But in order to get a longer range on your electric propulsion only, the vehicle has to be plugged into the mains and the battery gets charged. So it's got a bigger battery than this, has a longer electric only range, but the downside is that you have to plug it in. Otherwise, the battery runs out and you can only run on the petrol engine. Alrighty, so those are the three steps. So it's EV, HEV, and PHEV. Okay, currently Great Wall offer Jolion and H6 in HEV only, and in a couple of months' time we'll be launching our all-electric car, the EV, which is called Aura. Okay, so getting onto this vehicle, the upside of an HEV is that it gives you great performance, but with exceptionally good fuel economy. The only difference in the fuel economy is that on traditional ICE engine cars, your fuel consumption buzzing around town is normally high. Then you get onto the open road and you go on holiday, and because your vehicle is running more efficiently, your fuel consumption drops. On an HEV, it's the other way around. While you're buzzing around town in an HEV, you're using it more under electric propulsion only, and the ICE engine only comes on as and when required. But when you're out on the open road, in order to generate higher speeds and to keep the batteries charged, the ICE engine operates more than what it would do in town driving. So your fuel consumption actually increases slightly. However, in the case of the Jolion here, the fuel consumption is rated at just over 5 litres per 100k. So it's really an economical car, and I think that's the focus in South Africa at the moment. Fuel prices have gone crazy. We're being plucked from every side. Interest rates, this, that, the cost of living is going up, and we're all just trying to find places, how can we save money? And one of the places where we can save money is on the fuel that you put into your car. So if you buy a hybrid, you're going to buzz around, you're going to have exceptionally good fuel economy, but to boot with that, the car gives you exceptionally good performance. So this car has the combined between the electric and the ICE engine is 139 kilowatts and 370 newton meters of torque. I think it's 370 newton meters, but yeah, that's correct. So it's got 100 newton meters more torque than the Jolion S. So torque is that power. So it's the twisting motion that the engine creates. So your off-the-mark acceleration and all that on this car is incredible. It's really, really brisk. So you can drive it with just the touch of a throttle, and it really goes like the clappers. But on the flip side is it gives you fantastic fuel economy. Okay, so that's the story of a hybrid. And to me, hybrid is the way to go in South Africa. With our dodgy grid, our poor infrastructure, the best choice is for the hybrid, because the car charges itself, you're not reliant on the grid, and you're going to get great fuel consumption. Okay. Then just on the Jolion hybrid, so it gives you all the features of the Super Lux. So it's a top spec car. I mean, it comes with the full array of features. It's got the airbags, the ADAS system, so it's all the driving range. It looks ahead to see, looks out for objects. It'll brake if you're going to go into the back of another vehicle. It keeps you in your lane. It's got all those kind of driver aids. Plus, it's got all the luxury, including sunroofs and, as I said, leather seats, etc., etc., etc. So a really nice package of luxury items. You're not skimping at all on luxury. You've got great fuel consumption and a really nice performance car. And then it's got a couple of features that set it apart from the rest of the crowd. So it's got a different grille. So it's got this really funky grille that sort of highlights the new age, the new tech features of it. It's got the blue just in the headlights. It's also give it a very, very distinctive look. And then in the inside, it's got the full raft of features that we're used to in the Jolions. So if you want a really great car, full of features, full of tech, great performance, but that is miserly on fuel, come into Haval Edenvale and give the Jolion HEV a run.